Beverly Hills and Bel Air are two of the most well-known cities in the entire world. When someone not from Los Angeles thinks of LA, they're immediately gonna get drawn toward these two cities. In this video today, I'm going over the differences and similarities of what makes Beverly Hills and Bel Air special. What's going on, you guys? My name is Darren Kriz. I'm a local real estate agent out here in the greater Los Angeles area, helping clients every single day buy, sell, and invest in property here in LA. So if that's you or someone you know, reach out to me. My information is down in the description below. But let's get started with the video. As a native Angelino myself, I was born in Beverly Hills, but I was raised in the Valley. I have been through it all. I know every city here in Los Angeles and what makes it special. I've spent a lot of time in both Beverly Hills and Bel Air. If you've seen my other channel where I tour beautiful houses in the city, I've done dozens and dozens in each of the city house tours. Check out that channel in the description as well if you haven't seen it yet. But let's just discuss Beverly Hills versus Bel Air, starting with the location of each. So Beverly Hills is a little bit more central than Bel Air. You are in the heart of Los Angeles, a little bit farther from the freeways than Bel Air would be. Bel Air is right off the 405 freeway, just to the east of it. So it makes it for easier access to get to, let's say, LAX or to get to the Valley. If you're living in Beverly Hills, you're gonna have to take Coldwater Canyon up to get to the Valley, Mulholland Highway, or to go down into the city, Rodeo Drive, the Golden Triangle. People love Beverly Hills because there is more of a city vibe and it is a little bit more prestigious, but that also comes with an expense. It is a little more expensive than if you were living in Bel Air, and that is because Beverly Hills has Rodeo Drive, Cannon Drive, Camden, all of your favorite shops and restaurants that you might see in the movies, on TV, or if you're from here and you've experienced it for yourselves, you're gonna see a lot of tourists. You have the famous Beverly Hills sign right on Santa Monica Boulevard, and it's a very walkable city if you're living in the flats. If you're living in the flats, which is the flat part of Beverly Hills, you'll see tree-lined streets, absolutely beautiful neighborhoods with extravagant houses ranging all the way up to $30 million plus. But it's very easy to walk around Beverly Hills. You can walk down Beverly Drive, lots of different shops and bars in that area too. As far as Bel Air goes with the shops and restaurants, there is not too many. Bel Air is more of a residential neighborhood that goes up into the hills. You'll be on Sunset right above UCLA, and as you go north, that's when you go into the gated parts of Bel Air where they have security roaming around 24/7 to make sure it is a safe and secured neighborhood. And you're gonna get a little bit bigger lots when you go into the Beverly Hills, little different views, mountainous views. You look into the Bel Air Reservoir in some areas of Bel Air. In Beverly Hills, you're gonna get a lot more properties with beautiful city views from downtown all the way out to the ocean. And because Bel Air is more residential and up in the hills, it's harder to get to if you are coming from anywhere else. The crime rate is actually 50% less than the rest of the US. As far as Beverly Hills goes, because Beverly Hills has all these shops and restaurants that are very luxurious, very prestigious and well known, it's easier to get to because it's in the city. You can walk to certain areas of Beverly Hills. The crime rate is only, but still, 20% less than the rest of the US. So Beverly Hills is comprised of many different neighborhoods. We already talked a little bit about the flats, but then as you go a little more north, I'll show you a map here. You have South Beverly Park, North Beverly Park, the Beverly Ridge Estates, Beverly Crest, Beverly Glen, Benedict Canyon, so many different prestigious areas, gated communities. As you go up and toward Beverly Park, that's where you're gonna get homes that are north of 100 million, which is crazy. Now Bel Air does have communities like this as well, but truly not as many as Beverly Hills does. Bel Air does have one of the most expensive homes ever built in the entire world, and that would be known as the One. Originally listed for $500 million, I'm sure you guys have heard about that one before. Ended up selling an auction for $141 million to the CEO of Fashion Nova. And I myself have been to that property. It was absolutely unreal, way better than I expected when I saw it in person. Super extravagant, the views are untouchable as you are at the highest peak in Bel Air. Both Beverly Hills and Bel Air have their own individual hotels as well. The very well-known Beverly Hills Hotel, which has been in dozens of movies throughout the past several decades, is just on the northern part of the flats, right off Sunset Boulevard. And then you have Hotel Bel Air, which is a little bit harder to find unless you are specifically looking for it or unless you're specifically staying there for a weekend or for your visit. You have to go more up into the hills and it's a little more hidden. It's hard to see it from the outside because of all the trees that are covering it. There's also a country club in both Beverly Hills and Bel Air. I'm a big golf fan myself and I have not golfed at either of these country clubs, but one day I definitely want to do that. In Beverly Hills, you have the LA Country Club, LACC, with 2 courses, the North and the South. They're actually having the Golf PGA US Open there next June in 2023, which I am definitely going to be attending. They're going to be having that on the North course. Absolutely beautiful course all in all, and there really hasn't been any publicity surrounding this course really ever. So it's going to be very interesting to see how the pros play on it next year. And that course you can see from many of the incredible views in Bel Air up in the hills. If you see a golf course right in front of Century City, that is the Los Angeles Country Club. As far as the Bel Air Country Club goes, it's a golf course a little more hidden up into the hills just north of UCLA. A very well-known artist known as The Weeknd actually owns a $70 million house right in the middle of the Bel Air Country Club. I'll show you a picture of that here. It is super private because you're only surrounded by a couple golf holes. I mean, a lot of people might not like that because in case of a poor golfer hits a nice slice, you could crack a window, but still, 70 million, I'm sure he can fix that just fine. As far as cost goes, in Beverly Hills, you are going to be paying slightly more than you would be paying per square foot if you're going to buy a house in Bel Air, and that is because you are closer to the city. You do get that 90210 zip code in Beverly Hills, whereas in Bel Air, you do get more private houses. It's a different style, and there's a big mix between old single-story homes, and then you'll have a nice modern if you're up in those hills of Bel Air. Moving on from costs, if we're talking about a nightlife in Bel Air versus Beverly Hills does have many bars and restaurants in that Golden Triangle area surrounding Rodeo, where you have all the bars, the shops, and as you go down Beverly Drive. But it's not gonna be that younger crowd with the popular nightlife that you're gonna see in West Hollywood. There are no clubs per se in Beverly Hills, but you are about 5-10 minutes away if you wanna just go to West Hollywood and find your spot. Bel Air doesn't have too much of a nightlife. If you're living in Bel Air, it would be mainly for the privacy and to maybe settle down with a family. As far as demographics goes, in Bel Air, it's a lot more family oriented, and you'll have a lot of older people that have just lived there for many, many years and are just holding on to their homes that they bought for an unbelievable price back in the day. As far as Beverly Hills goes, the demographics are for people that really want the prestige of saying that you live in Beverly Hills, the 90210. A lot of foreigners will come out and live in Beverly Hills because that's all they know. They'll see it on TV, they'll see it on their social media, and they'll be like, that seems like the place for me. I've heard a lot about it. I know a lot of people that are successful and well-known in Beverly Hills, so that's gonna be where I go and grow my business. But there still are many families that have come and lived in Beverly Hills, but it's not for the average family. You have to be someone of high wealth to live in either Beverly Hills or Bel Air, as the average home price is roughly close to $5 million for each cities. But yeah, guys, that was pretty much everything that I have for you today on Beverly Hills versus Bel Air. If you have any questions at all, please leave a comment down below. I will answer all of them. If you have any questions for me, I help people every single day buy, sell, and invest in property here in Los Angeles. Here's my email, here is my phone number. If you want to reach out, I'm happy to help you. As I said, I'm a real estate agent in this area and I have lived here my whole life, so I can tell you anything about any city that you might want to know. Hit the like button if you have not already. It really helps out the algorithm. And subscribe if you want to learn more about all things informational about Los Angeles on a weekly basis. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.